In this video, we're going to make a casing sample. And a casing is like if you have a waistband or something that has elastic going through, or for a drawstring bag where the drawstring's going through, it's kind of just a little spot that holds whatever's going through, right? So elastic or a drawstring or something. And you want to make your casing 1/4 inch longer or wider, I guess, than whatever's going in. So for this case, we're imagining we're putting like 1/2 inch elastic or something like that through here. So 1/2 inch. So we want our casing to be 3/4 inch, so that it's 1/4 inch bigger than our elastic that would go through. So to start off, we are going to do a couple markings because this will make our pressing easier. So I'm going to mark 1/2 inch in a couple spots and then just kind of eyeball that. So there's my 1/2 inch. And the reason I'm doing that is because I actually want the fold to be 1/4 inch. But when I fold to the 1/2 inch line, it will give me a 1/4 inch fold like that. And then my next marking is going to be up 1 3/4 inch. So I have my 1 inch and then 1, 2, 3/4. So I'll mark that in a couple spots. Okay, so that way I can fold to the 1/2 inch line and that'll give me a 1/4 inch fold. And then if I fold that, I will have over to the next line up, it'll give me a 3/4 inch casing. So then if I had something that was 1/2 inch like that, I'd have a 1/4 inch just for like extra room for it and for my stitching. So that's what we want for our casing. So let's go ahead and press that now. And I'm just going to press to this first line. Just up and down pressing motion. It helps to finger press first so you don't burn your fingers, especially with something so small. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go to my next line. Finger press that. Then I will go over that. Now I'm ready to go sew everything together so that I have a nice casing for a 1/2 inch elastic. Alright, we're back over at the machine and we're going to finish up our casing. We have everything folded over 1/4 inch and then 3/4 inch. So that gives us a 3/4 inch casing. And remember, we want our casing to be a 1/4 inch bigger than whatever it's encasing. So this would be for like 1/2 inch elastic or something like that. And I'm going to sew along, so this is where I have everything folded. I'm going to sew along this edge on just inside the left part of it. And I'm going to do 1/4 inch seam allowance, or 1/8 inch seam allowance, excuse me, 1/8. And I'm going to do that by, here, let me zoom in. I'm going to lower my presser foot, and I want this edge of my fabric to line up with the inside of my presser foot. So I'm going to have it line up like that. And then I will go ahead and sew and backstitch. And remember, if you're ever having trouble when you're starting and your machine's kind of eating up your fabric, just start in like a 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch further in your fabric, and that will help most of the time. Sometimes just the backstitch at the beginning, it just wants to suck everything in. I'm going to sew, I'm just going to keep everything in line with the inside of my presser foot. If you feel more comfortable, like if you feel comfortable enough to sew a little bit closer to the edge and keep things neat, you're welcome to do that. But the inside of the presser foot gives a good guide. But in my back stitching, I'm going to lift that up. We'll trim our threads. And then we have our finished casing. So this is like a little sleeve where I could put in something that was 1/2 inch right there. I'm going to fit perfect.